By the way, to cover the cubic meter of space-time and all subatomic particles, according to what I understand. Okay? Alright. Another example is the Gulf of Mexico, Florida. The oil spill using radio waves affected the oil. And you should study all the reports done on that by not myself but other people if you want to. Where you find those reports is SlideShare. John K. Hutchison /slideshare.net. Look it up, check it out, and download some of the videos. They'd be on YouTube. Where to be located? Hutchison Effect 2009, as well as Carla B. Connection. Everything was recorded before and after, so no arguments, thank you, no stupid comments, thank you. I'm having fun today. Another thing I want to talk about, okay, check that out, download the reports, decide yourself. I'll get the Esquire magazine article and the DESI documents together for Matthew, so he can see for himself what's going on. And I was going to mention something about World Trade buildings. I didn't realize they're only 208 feet wide. Footprint, that's incredibly small, but very high buildings. Do realize that buildings are mostly empty space. So when they collapsed, they blew up concrete dust, gypsum dust, and many bad chemical dust. They fell down and were only a few stories high. I think it was, how many stories was it? Maybe 5 or 6, I don't know. Yes, steel. Have you ever seen people forge steel when it's red hot? Well, it's pretty malleable at that temperature. Okay. So you got 2 aircraft full of jet fuel going at 500 miles per hour. How many feet is that, and how many foot tons of energy crashed into the buildings, right? So I want to cover that for some reason. Because September coming up soon, September 11th. You got to encompass your mind around the whole event. Who were the people that died in the airplanes and in the buildings? Check it out. Work your mind around that. There's no microspheres of metal dust from welding, interpreted as thermite. Totally stupid. Or a death ray. Totally insane. When you get into that kind of stuff, you know, it's just like, yeah, okay. What you're hearing, a beeping signal going on the carrier wave, 27 megacycles. Right now, for some testing we're doing, from that generation plant over there to a gigantic interferometer in the building. Not here, but, I think about 30 feet away. Anyway, somebody's seen it when they're here. So, I'm having fun. Do you realize that radiation is harmful? As these meters here were replaced years ago because they had radium chloride on them, and all the meters were taken out and replaced with non-radium chloride meters, which would activate this as well, okay? Peter explained a lot to me about his involvement with nuclear stuff over the years. Unfortunately, none of his publications are out there. He's forgotten about it. All that information, totally not available. Almost happened to Ken Shoulders, but it didn't, so luckily new information is coming out all the time. I have stuff from Ken Shoulders. I don't think it's out in the internet world yet. As well as René Louis Vallée of France and Andrea Sakharov. A lot of data for maybe Bob Greener to go over, and Matthew, I hope. So this has been an odd day for me to go off course in my regular stuff. To talk about a cubic meter of space-time and what it can do and all the different subatomic particles and particles within it that nobody seems to understand. And I read about it a long time ago. You should study George Gamow, Nikola Tesla, and many other old-timers. Ampere, and weird effects he got. Plus, it's just named many different people. Benjamin Franklin. Because I see all these YouTube videos on this and that. It's all kind of like rehashed stuff from the 60s and 70s, 80s, and 90s. I don't watch it. But another good example, I guess I'll show you. The old timers and what they could do. Okay? The R390 is one example, and many examples I have here. But visually, this is a gyro system. Operates on 400 cycles, 3-phase. For the engineers to figure this out, it's truly amazing. All gyros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gyros in here. All operating and guiding an aircraft or a bomb or whatever it is. Another example of gyros are the effects of gyros on gravimetric tension. Very old. We're going to a very old gyro. This fellow. Flat belt would drive this around. These balls would go up and lift up other things that would activate or slow down steam arrival. Let's go along to more gyros. Having fun today, I guess. So if we plug this in here, 110 volts, or 150, you know, whatever it is, right? Plug him in. Go. Oh, here's a bunch of marvels of engineering right up there from the 40s. Okay. And here's more engineering from the 40s. I got the other end of this cord. Yeah, I made some coherers. They do work. They got follow exact instructions from long a time ago. Where are we? Oh yeah. Now looking for the plug. Where did he go to? Here, down here, okay. So, I'm going to plug this guy in. It's an air compressor for an Oerlikon cannon. Put this here. Switch this on. Turn it off. Those are gyros you hear in there. This unique piece of engineering is mounted on the Oerlikon cannon like this guy, okay? So when the gunner moves it around and sights up on the aircraft, it has a special program in here through mechanics Transmitters and receivers, they called them in the old days. And lines up pieces of glass and mirrors, so put you on target. Isn't that cool? I even got the calibrator for it too. They call it the bishop's hat. So that thing would go on here, on the back, and replace this sight here, right? I have a bunch of those. I've even got one up there too. Amazing engineering. Unplug. Unplug? Yeah. Okay. What other crazy things? This one too. That works by servos too. Receivers and transmitters. You follow the aircraft with those binoculars up there by moving it around and moving this around, and then you got the firing switch, which energy from all the servos in there goes to the DC amplifiers, which engage the other generators to move the big cannons around, okay? Oh, you don't know what a servo is. Oh, dear. For a transmitter? We'll have to show you that, right? Right. I got lots of them. Bob Roberts by Hot Chocolate. Okay. Servo. Transmitter or receiver. You move these around. That sends a signal to move the other ones around at the same angle. Like this one. Which moves dials and gears and stuff. I got a beautiful one up here, I think. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna take a look at it. There you go. Yeah, you can put two of these together. Move this one with your thumb, fingers, and I'll move another one down here when wired up. Analog computing systems. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff like that. Okay, so we talked about gyros and atomic physics and what the old stuff can do. Basically, yeah. Now time for you to do your homework. Another example. Well, I got that wired up so it doesn't fall off, I guess, but eBay seller in Ukraine. These are marvels of engineering as well. Replacing that, of course, with other ones. Move this way. Plus this one, R390 came into view, as well as these guys. These are fine examples of really good solid state material. They probably took great precautions on EMFs and that kind of stuff, but not subatomic particles and all that crazy stuff. Some of these pick up strange stuff too, you know. But for my kind of work, these are relatively safe. Except for my Spencer carbine Civil War gun, which is an unknown thing on it. I hope to get an expert to look at that someday, but you know. I showed Matthew. I wouldn't have bought it from a local RCMP retired officer if I knew there was that weird thing on it. Anyway, that's my rant and raving for today. Oh. I'll shut up for now. That's been a couple of long videos, which maybe the young generation will look into old tech and copy it. I don't know. It's a weird world, and I'm having fun. Okay, cheerio.